is Shireen Horazek. I am the president of AFSCME Local 3800, the clerical workers at the University of Minnesota. I'm also an officer at AFSCME Council 5 and a member of Minnesota Workers United. Minnesota Workers United organized this protest here today to bring labor activists and union members and community members together to demand justice for George Floyd. First, I want to extend, on behalf of all of us here and on behalf of our unions and our community members and our families, our deepest condolences to George Floyd's loved ones and family members and community members and friends. And we are here to say enough is enough. He has to be the last person that this happens to, and we have to demand justice for George Floyd. We are here today as union members at the home of Mike Freeman because he has the ability and the responsibility to charge and prosecute the police who murdered George Floyd and the police who stood on and watched and are accessories to the murder of George Floyd, and he needs to do that now. We are here as union members to demand justice for George Floyd and to demand that Mike Freeman do the right thing, because we know as union activists that we are asked every election season to be boots on the ground to get these elected officials elected. And it's time for them to do their damn job, or we will not be out here knocking on any doors, making any phone calls, doing anything that these damn politicians want done to get themselves elected while they don't do their job. We're not doing our job for them unless they do their job for us. And so we want Mike Freeman to know full well that he is responsible for what has happened in this city over the last week. That all of the burned down buildings, all of the destruction, all of that, it's on his hands. He is the one that is directly responsible for that. It is not about the community members. It is not about, I don't care, outside agitators, whatever phrasing is used. It is not about any of that. It is about his responsibility and his refusing to do the right thing. And that's why we are here today as union members to say enough is enough. So I want to really thank all of you who are out here today. We have a number of speakers that we're going to be hearing from, number of people from various unions who are going to be talking and sharing some of their perspectives. We've also got a couple of special guests that we've also invited to join us. And so I want to just kick it off first by inviting up my fellow MC, DJ Hooker, who is an e-board member of AFSCME Local 2822. He works in the library on the north side. He is also an e-board member for AFSCME Council 5. Let's give it up for DJ.
Wow, I'm excited to be here. I just got my voice back. I just got the ability to move my legs. I got to do some defending of the South neighborhoods last night, which was which was some peace that I needed. I want to start out by saying this is definitely one of the toughest weeks, just not for Minnesota, but for all of America. And this is what happens when people's voices are ignored, right? When people say stuff, they need to be heard. And I understand that everyone feels different ways about what's happening, but we got to realize that we need to use a diverse pool of tactics, and that the civil rights, black people didn't get their rights by only peaceful protesting. There was the Fred Hamptons with the Black Panthers. There was the Malcolm X's. There was a lot of different things that happened, not just MLK. What I also want to say now is, as y'all can see, I am a chess player. My part-time job is I coach chess at Edison High School. We've been the #1 school in Minneapolis for the last 6 years. So I want to make sure that we're being strategic, right? So now we need to make sure we're getting our demands down, right? Right? And so what we need to do is we need to make sure that we're talking to each other. We need to make sure that we're talking to our friends, our family, our neighbors. I don't care if you don't even know them. I want you to go up to people and I want you to ask them what they think can change and what we need to see as change. Okay, because everyone needs to contribute to this. This isn't just for black people. This isn't just for people of color. This is for everybody. We need to make sure we have a system that works for everybody. Okay? So, after that, we need to make sure that we have our community leaders. Those look different in different communities. Those are sometimes that's the church, sometimes that's the mosque, sometimes that's the Black Lives Matter, sometimes that's the NAACP. We need to make sure that we give those ideals to those leaders. And if you have ideals and you feel like you want to represent that, then you need to step up, okay? What you're willing to give to the movement is enough. Okay, I'm here to tell you that. Everyone out there making phone calls, that's enough. Everyone that's donating supplies, that's enough. Everybody that's on Facebook saying they support us, that's enough, okay? Do we need to realize that this is the investment that we're making? And unlike the traditional investment in the stock market, where only one person's going to get the reward for this, everyone is going to benefit from the revolution. Okay? I'm so glad to be around my labor brothers and sisters. I missed y'all so much. So, I have a couple of more things that we need to be thinking about. We need to make sure, these are a couple of my 2 cents that I think that we should be focusing on. I think we need to focus on actually getting systemic change. And I don't know what that looks like, and I'm willing to have conversations about that. I know some people say they want to defund or get rid of the cops. I know some people say they want stuff like community control of the police, where we're like a board of local officials, like local leaders would be able to decide what their cops look like. Does that look like them having guns? Does that look like them having cameras? What does their training look like? And have the ability to convict them. Okay, because we need to make sure that we put their hands back in the power of the people, okay? So, and then the last one that I want to stress is that a lot of businesses have been hurt in the last couple of days, especially minorities and people of color, and we need to find out how we're going to support that once all of this is over. We need to figure out how we're going to get those companies back up and running, sustainable. We need to make sure that we try to ask for a stimulus package for different communities where they have a pool of money that only people in that community get access to, and those people can rebuild. Because when I say rebuilding, I don't want to see gentrification. I'm from North Minneapolis, and gentrification was already widespread, and I don't want to see this pick up speed just because now people can't afford to buy back their neighborhood. I want to make sure people get to stay in their neighborhoods, people get to provide for their community, and that because people know what they need, okay? And we need each other. So once again, I just want y'all to think we gotta be systemic, and we gotta make sure that we're thinking about this. And last night I was with the AIM. I was helping out AIM defend like Franklin and Cedar and Little Earth. And I want to say, like, they came by and they started shooting. The National Guard did. Even though that the mayor told them that they could defend their land because they're on private property. They came and started shooting, and they did peaceful chants back. And I remember, it was really powerful, that one of the elders said, well, what we got to do is we got to all chant as one voice. We can't be 100 separate voices, okay? Because it's just going to sound like chaos. It's not going to make any sense, and no one's going to know what to do. So we need to make sure that we talk about these issues so that we can be united. So when the governor, or when they actually decide that they're going to listen, we can tell them what our demands are. With that, I'm going to pass it back to Sheree.
a lot easier to do this with the mask down. Sometimes you just got to take a risk, you know? So it is really my honor to introduce up all the speakers today that we're going to hear from, are amazing leaders in their unions and in our communities, and so it's going to be great to hear from them. Our next speakers are Ana Vasquez and Maureen Dowling, who are newly elected executive board members for MFT Local 59, which are the Minneapolis teachers, and they're really bringing a fighting perspective to the Minneapolis school system. So let's give it up for Maureen and Ana.
Thank you. How are we doing today? Are we angry or not? I can't hear you. Are we angry or not? How angry are we today? There you go. My name is Ana Vasquez, and I am a science teacher. Give me 1 second. Let me twist this around. We are here today to support our community in demanding justice for George Floyd, and that all 4 cops be charged immediately. And this is non-negotiable. Did you hear that, Mike Freeman? This is non-negotiable. George Floyd's case is not an isolated crime against our black and brown community. Derek Chauvin has already killed or been involved in the killing of other brown and native lives, and this must end. So we say, not one more, 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 not one more. And that is why we're here, to demand Mike Freeman charge all killer cops. This fear you are experiencing right now, this lack of safety, of not belonging, and the desire to escape to a safer place is a constant reality for black and brown people. Except, we cannot escape, we cannot leave, we cannot change the color of our skin. And that's why we must put an end to systemic and institutional racism. We must put an end to the school-to-prison pipeline. We can't expect politicians or just voting to end this for us. Am I right? We must defy, resist, and organize in order to make this happen. We must... Let's say that again. We must defy, resist, and organize. What do we need to do? Defy, resist, and organize. What do we need to do? Defy, resist, and organize. What do we need to do? Defy, resist, and organize. And here are some of the things that we are asking our community to do.
Thank you, Ana. I'm Maureen Dowling, at-large member of the Executive Board for MFT. MFT 59 has called for MPS to end their contract with MPD. We have been working with our national unions, state union, and affiliates to demand justice for the murder of George Floyd. Our next action. On Tuesday, June 2nd, the Minneapolis School Board will meet to consider terminating the contract with Minneapolis Police Department, which provides school resource officers. Please contact your school board members on or before June 2nd and ask them to vote yes on the resolution presented. Please repeat with me. Vote yes. Vote yes. Vote yes. Vote yes. Vote yes. Vote yes. This is the website where you can find the list of all MPS board members. Send the message today. Take a picture. Send the message today. Our next action. Connect with your schools, and please connect with your schools to find out if they need food or other basic items like diapers, formula, cleaning supplies for their families. We are still in a pandemic, and many of our families are struggling. We're also calling on Minnesota's elected leaders to disinvest from over-policing and over-enforcement and invest in public education, invest in affordable housing and essential community needs. Finally, we're calling on the media to please refocus the narrative on justice for George Floyd. And for every Black, brown, Indigenous person who has been wrongly murdered. It is time for justice. On Monday, unions across this country will be wearing black in solidarity with our community. We urge you, please get the message out, wear black on Monday. Our unions across the country are with us. Anna, it's back to you.
Going over here in support of George Floyd and our Black community. And so with that, we're going to say, Black Lives Matter. Say what? 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 Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter now and forever.
All right. Next time, it's really an honor and a privilege, again, to introduce this time a union sister from my own local, Sandra Killebrew, who is a member of the AFSCME 3800 Executive Board at the University of Minnesota and a longtime Southsider. We have, there are over 80, close to 100 members of AFSCME 3800 who live on the corridor along Lake Street. And so our folks are feeling it real hard. But our folks have been fighting back against this racist system for a long, long time. And one of the people who's been one of the fiercest fighters that we've had is Sandra Killebrew. So let's give it up for Sandra.
Hi everybody, how you guys doing? First off, I want to thank you all for being out here. I want to send my condolences to the Floyd family. This is unspeakable. I'm coming as a mother, as a sister, as a grandmother. I'm here with my sister, my man. It could have been any of us. It could have been your son walking out the door and never coming home. It could have been your dad coming home and or leaving the house and never coming home. This is the time where we have a call to action. A call for the elected officials, the people that we put in office, to do their job, to stand up for what is right. They're saying outside agitators, take care of them, but let's not lose the narrative. A man has lost his life. A mother has lost her son. Let's not lose sight of that. As I was outside last night with my neighbors, who some of them are here today, thank you for supporting, protecting our neighborhood. We didn't see any outside agitators. We actually had the police roll up with gauges in our faces and tell us to go in our houses when we're on our block. This is our home. If we live here on this block, this is our home. We have the right to be outside. It is our constitutional right to protect our homes and our families. Let's not lose the fact that a man has lost his life. We can rebuild a business. We can rebuild a home. But once a life is stolen away, we cannot rebuild that. We need to come together. We need to be respectful. We need to weed out the ones that are not here for the cause. We don't need them here.